Hey, Kevin Wright here. I thought you'd be interested in a question that came up at one of my recent Monday morning Q&A sessions. I go out live on YouTube at 8:30 every Monday morning, and a bunch of people jump on and ask me questions about property finance, and I answer them. So watch this video to see what answer I gave to this question. Get a bridging loan to buy a below market value or an auction property. Apart from using your own money for refurbs of buying costs, how else could you finance this? Well, you might struggle to get a mortgage on this. A couple of reasons, really. If you're buying a below market value property, why is it below market value? What lenders would look at for any investment type mortgage is it rentable? So in other words, without doing any significant work to it, could you just put a tenant straight in there? If you can, great. What we know with mortgage lenders is that at the point of purchase, they lend, their basis of lending is the lower of the purchase price or value. So if you're buying it below value, but it's in good condition, then your mortgage will be based on the purchase price. So the fact you're buying it below value will be ignored. If it's not mortgageable, or if lenders, valuers think that you couldn't just stick a tenant in there with minimal refurb work, then it will be declined for a mortgage. Auctions, well, you only get 28 days to complete with most auctioneers, and that's a tough ask for a lot of mortgage lenders. Not saying it's impossible, but it's most mortgage lenders, standard mortgage lenders, would struggle to get their mortgage offer turned around in a time scale that would give your solicitor enough time to complete within the 28-day time frame. You would use a bridging loan if you wanted to facilitate the purchase in either of those cases. So now, going back to David's question, apart from using your own money for refurb or buying costs, how else could you finance this? Okay, so one of the ways I simplify bridging for people is that most bridging loans, in fact almost all bridging loans, fall into one of 5 categories: a purchase bridge, a market value bridge, a done up value bridge, a refurb bridge, or a cross collateral bridge. So how would you avoid using your own money for the refurb? Then get a refurb bridge, because a refurb bridge would typically lend 70% of the purchase price and 100% of the refurb costs, albeit in stages and in arrears. You wouldn't necessarily need to use your own money for the refurb, because you could use a refurb bridge. That's not a product that's available widely across all bridging lenders, but there are a select few bridging lenders that would do that. And of course, being brokers, we know who they are. So apart from using your own money for buying costs, how could you finance this? Well, now here's a big difference between bridgers and mortgage lenders. Mortgage lenders, in almost every circumstance, prohibit you from borrowing the deposit money, because they view that it's essential that you have some skin in the game, some cash in the deal, because that gives them comfort that you're going to maintain the property and be committed to keeping the property and maintaining payments on it. If that's a barrier for you, then it's going to be in terms of having the normal 25% deposit, then that's going to be an issue for you. Now, bridgers take a different view, and one of the things that if you've done any training with me at all, you'll know that bridgers think counterintuitively in almost all circumstances. Excuse me, a bit of a froggy throat this morning. So bridgers actually don't mind you borrowing the deposit, so you can do that. Now, of course, you've got to repay the bridger, and you've got to pay whoever you buy your borrow the deposit from. So you'd need to make sure that whatever you were doing with the property, actually it's getting a bit bright out here, I'm going to pull that across there a bit. There we are, that's a bit better. You'd have to make sure that the whatever you were going to do to the property, you were able to repay both the bridging lender and whoever you borrowed the money from. Now, if you found that question and my answer interesting, there's a whole load more of this that goes on a Monday morning. Now, you can either log in through YouTube, or you can join my Facebook group, Recycle Your Cash for Property Investors, and get it streamed through there. The link is on this page. And if you want access to my whole back catalogue of Q&As, which is well over 50 hours of viewing time, then I've got a way to do that. Join Fiverr Tribe and you can get access to that back catalogue with a simple word search facility. So just type in the question that you want answers to and it'll come up on screen almost instantaneously all the times that I've mentioned your particular keyword. It's like having a property finance Wikipedia, I guess. How do you access this? By joining my Fiverr Tribe. Click the link on the page and guess what? It's a £5 a month. So I look forward to seeing you at future Q&As.